In this lesson, we're going to learn about how to figure the cost of merchandise inventory. So the first method is what they call FIFO. So first in, first out inventory costing method. Basically what that means is that they're going to use the price of the merchandise purchased first to calculate the cost of the merchandise sold. They call it first in, first out, or FIFO. So when you look at this chart, it is an inventory record of items showing how much was purchased on specific dates and how much they cost and the total cost, and then how much is left. So with FIFO, we are going to take the cost of the most recent ones that we purchased and assume that those are the ones that are left. So when first in, first out means that the first ones purchased January, February, April were the ones when we sold them, the ones that were sold, and the most recent one we purchased are the ones that we have on hand. So in this example, we have 18 left on hand. 8 of them were purchased November 22nd. 10 of those 18 were purchased on September 5th. And we take the unit costs of them times how many is left on hand, and that gives us our FIFO cost of $422. So basically, of the 50, we have 18 left. The ones that were sold were the ones that were purchased first. The second method is what they call last in, first out. So it's the opposite of that. And it is using the price of the merchandise purchased last to calculate the cost of the merchandise sold. So last in, first out, LIFO. So in this one, using that same chart we used before, when the physical inventory is only 18 left, we're going to assume that the ones that were brought in first are still left over and that we've sold the most recent ones out. And so we have 18 left. So the 10 on January 1st, the 6 on February 16th, and then 2 of the 14 bought on April 17th are the ones that we have left in our 18. Take that unit cost times the units on hand, and that gives us our LIFO cost. 18 left. The beginning inventory from each gives us our LIFO cost. Then the third one is what they call the weighted average method. And using the weighted average costs of beginning inventory plus the merchandise purchased, and you basically figure up an average. So the average unit price of the total inventory is calculated. The average unit price is used to calculate both the ending inventory and cost of merchandise sold, and it is charged against the current revenue. So if you look at this one, same thing. We're same chart that we have here, 50 units. So when we do all of that, we have our total cost of beginning inventory purchase was $1,120 of all of them that we bought throughout the year. We had 50 units, so we divide that total cost by 50, and that gives us our weighted average. Because when you buy inventory, depending on when you buy it, where you buy it from, vendors, and that kind of stuff, your unit cost might change a little bit. So this gives us an average for the year. Then we take the units we have left, 18, times that average, and that gives us our cost of ending inventory. So just in recap, for the same 18 units, the difference in cost of inventory for FIFO would be $422, LIFO $382, and weighted average would be $403. So you can see that the weighted average is somewhere in between the other two. Keep in mind that the flow of inventory doesn't have to match the costing message, meaning that if you use FIFO, first in and first out, you don't absolutely have to sell those units first. It doesn't have to match. It's just the way we do the book work and the bookkeeping. So some examples here, grocery store might use FIFO, hardware might use LIFO, gas station might use weighted average.